I'm in the VAC suite. Hey, Kevin Hayes from VAC. How are you, Kevin?
Very well, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good.
And hello out there in the viewing land.
Everybody says hello back.
Thank you very much.
Here we go. Kevin, I understand you have some exciting new products to show the viewers today. Tell us about them.
This is true. We're very pleased to have here the debut of the Signature 200i Q amplifier, which features the second generation of our patented IQ constant stable bias technology. This is the only circuit in the world capable of seeing the underlying idle current of the tube, even through the playing of music, whether it's loudly or softly or any level, any nature of music, and to hold that bias point, that true quiescent current, to a less than 1% variation at all times. It means the load line does not shift with volume level as you play louder. It means gas current runaways never get a chance to start. It means less distortion, lower noise, an amplifier that is always running optimally. And it makes a difference which, surprisingly, you can really hear. Turns out you can hear as little as a 1 or 2 milliampere difference in idle current of a tube, and we can keep it to more like half a milliampere or less. Anyway, it has that technology, which is indicated by these display LEDs in the front. If a tube ever actually breaks and has an internal short circuit, the amplifier will turn itself off in about less than 1/10 of a second. Your fuse never gets a chance to blow.
Wow.
The light will tell you which tube needs to be changed. Or if you're feeling lucky, you could just turn the amp off and try it again and see what happens. The amp will defend itself every time. And because we can tell exactly how high that virtual bias control is being turned to keep the tube running correctly, we know exactly as a tube grows weak, and we can flag it for you and say, please change this tube when you get a chance, but in the meantime, we're making the best of it that's possible. The amplifier can be run in a 100 watt per channel stereo mode, or a 200 watt mono mode, which is the way we're running them here. We're biamping in mono on the Focal Grande Utopias. Can take balanced or single-ended inputs. Really kind of a universal amplifier, very delightful. And it's nicer if you're on a budget like I tend to be able to buy one in stereo now, and add the second one for mono 6 months from now, whenever it's possible.
Smart move.
The other thing we have new is the Mark II power supply for the master preamplifier. This is the master preamplifier. It incorporates the essential technologies from our statement series preamplifiers in their most essential effective forms, which is where you get a major cost savings while still getting most of the performance. The power supply, though, we felt was not quite doing statement series performance in the first generation. The second one, which you might informally term a quad mono supply, actually contains 4 separate power transformers, one for phono left, phono right, line stage left, line stage right. So there are no unwanted interactions, just the signal pass-through and the very tightly shared ground at the point of audio amplification. So you have what is probably a 70-pound preamplifier power supply.
Okay.
And it really makes a wonderful difference.
Okay. Tell us about the rest of the system before we do a...
Well, we have some really
listening
fine
session.
equipment here. This is the Transrotor Orion turntable, and that's an SME-made arm which is labeled for them. And the cartridge is the very nice airtight PC-1 Supreme. There is a neat little power supply gadget back there to change speeds and so forth.
Okay.
Not in sight, but wonderful. And this is the AccuPhase 720 SACD player. We are cabled throughout with the Shunyata Anaconda series cables, powers, interconnects, and speakers.
Okay.
And back here around the corner hidden is the Shunyata Triton and Hydra power conditioners. Always a good thing to have at a show where you have other 1,000 stereo systems running around you all the time.
That's right, and not bad to have at home either, because our power companies, they'll guarantee 110 volts, but they're not going to guarantee it continually. So you
Or sine wave, or without
That's
DC.
right.
And of course the Focal Grande Utopias, what more can you say except for wow when you hear these?
Yeah, they are just super speakers. Well, exciting new product launch from VAC. Congratulations, Kevin. Can we do some listening next?
I wish you would. The equipment speaks better for it than I do.
Here we go, folks. That's the first I've heard the breath at the end of that track. In the room with us. This is an outstanding system, one of the best sounds of the show. Just beautiful.